recipes. Hello, Jasper. Kitten. Hello and welcome back to Art Therapy with Jenn. Today I have another one magazine challenge for y'all. And if this is your first time tuning in, what my one magazine challenge is that I take a magazine, I flip through it for the first time, pull out any images that I think I may be able to use or that just catches my eye, and then I immediately go and make a collage art journal page using just the images that I pulled out of that magazine. So it's a challenge I started a few months ago, and I've really been enjoying it. It's been expanding my thinking and how I use materials. And y'all also know, if you've been with me for a while, that I love to tell a story along the way with my collage pages. So it's neat to see when our main characters emerge, as well as how the story develops as we go. So today I'm using a Town and Country magazine, and this one is special because for the first time I shot a harvest video. So I did a kind of hangout, chat, and talk through the pages that I was pulling from the magazine and why I pulled them. I will link that video in an iCard above as well as down below, and it's also the video that was uploaded the week before this video, so it'll be right before it on the channel page. So I had some questions about why I choose certain images, and hopefully that gave some insight. And also, if some of y'all want to see what these pages started out as, that would be a good video to check out. Now, my first step that I always like to do is I make my background. And I don't pay a lick of attention, y'all, to what the images are. Like, I don't care if they're a staircase or a field or what. I turn them every which way and just combine them however, and I'm looking for textures and colors that, bounce off each other, and just I place stuff around and I like the way that it fits together, and that's how I do my backgrounds, and it's very freeing and it's very fun, and we're just gluing and sticking and having a good old time. And here I am starting to pull out my main characters. Now, this is the first time I've used a Town and Country magazine to do this challenge. And it was so funny because I thought I'd be really challenged in trying to find enough background images or textures. And I ended up having a wonderful abundance of those. But it was slim pickings when it came to like focal images and people. But it worked out, y'all. Y'all will see. I had just enough for what I needed, and they all just flowed together and worked off each other, if you will. But I was sweating there for a minute because at this point I had no idea how this was going to come together. I just thought, I'm going to start pulling people and cutting the background off of them and seeing where that takes me. So I really like the image of the girl in that orangish brown top. She was giving me a mix between like Thelma and Daphne from Scooby-Doo vibes. Also really like the girl that had her hand over her face because it gave this kind of mysterious, kind of like dark in my head. Y'all know I always go to the dark and fantasy stuff. And then the woman there in the white shirt, she just stood out as like very powerful and just jumped off the page. And then I also wanted to use this hand with the ring there caressing that guy's face. That was telling me a story, almost like a flashback, and I didn't know where we were going, but I could see we could make a story here. And I found this flower image on I want to reckon it was a perfume ad or maybe a skincare ad. And I knew I wanted to use it too, but I had no idea how. Like, I don't know if y'all that do collage pages or any type of art journal pages, you find things and you're like, this needs to be on this page. But I got no idea where. So I was just playing around with that thing, trying to make it work. And It does eventually, y'all will see, but I sure did miss about 10 times before I got the right place. And there's no technical to it. I just put it around until it looks right to me and it just clicks in a way. Almost like, putting a combination in and it finally clicks open like boom. That's what I compare it to. And that flower was also the start of our story here. Because to me, it kind of put forth almost a kind of magical look to it. And I got to thinking, okay, this flower is going to be important here. Y'all know I like to put a little bit of fantasy in my pages too. So then I pulled out this gorgeous jewelry here. I mean, this almost looks like some otherworldly thing. It just pops out so much, and I thought it would contrast really well with the reddish pinkness of that flower. And then it started to come together a bit. So the girl in the orangish brown shirt, she goes with the rose. The girl in the white shirt goes with that blue jewelry here. And then I had these other jewels. I was like, oh, and this girl on this left page, she has this jewel. And it all is about the jewels and the girls. And these aren't just any jewels. They're jewels that perhaps lend power to our story and play a prominent part. So I'm going to get to working, and I'll be back in a little bit for more of our story as it comes together. We have our main characters, so now let's get some words. I love finding the words for pages. I feel like this is the last layer to our story to bring it to life, if you will. And I love taking words from different areas of a magazine, splicing them together, putting them together in such a way that they tell what story you want them to. So the words I picked out from the magazine, some of these I've spliced together, but from top left to bottom right, I did when you set the stage, they want to buy into the dream. The dark art, secret jewels like no other, infused with the power of the rose, and you can do something like this only when you've made history. So got my secret jewels like no other because I'm feeling these are some type of magical jewels. Maybe like one has, that almost looks like water there, and the other one maybe fire or earth. Well, I'm going into Captain Planet territory, but you know what I mean. We're having fun with it. I love sci-fi and fantasy, y'all. So if you've seen me before, I just love to bring that element into my stories sometimes. but these jewels are really important. And now I'm going around with my Sharpie and some gel pens and just outlining different items. I love outlining some things in black and some things in white. It makes them stand out, but in different ways, and it gives the page like a multi-layered, I guess, effect, you would say. It makes some things look like they're further in front than other things, and it just plays with your eye. It also brings the page together because the style is the same throughout the whole page, if that makes sense. Y'all know I'm not technical. I just have fun. And can y'all believe, not even too long ago, just a few months ago, I was terrified to doodle on magazine pages. Like, I do it all the time now. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I used to be terrified to do it, that I would screw it up and I don't know. And so, I mean, if there's something you're thinking about trying, y'all, just go for it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, you know, maybe it don't look like you want it to, so then you can just grunge the page up and say you meant to do it that way. I mean, it's not serious, right? These are meant for fun. So now I took the Sharpie there and I circled that ring that's on that hand I was telling you about that's caressing the face. And I've also circled it on this girl's hand to show that this is the same ring. Like something went down here. And I added to that dark art word, falling into the dark art. So maybe this woman, she was lured into the dark side, if you will. And maybe all these girls were a team, and these other two girls, they're trying to get her back. And I'm adding more words. That top over there said, "We will find her." And it says, "We can." And then I added, "Falling into the dark art for love and never too late." So it's really neat how it kind of came together, and maybe it kind of reminds me of Charmed a little bit. Like you got the three girls there, and one almost goes to the dark side. Just having fun with it. And I added a lot of dots around to do a like more unified texture, and I really love how it came out, playing with different colors, playing with this theme, and just how can you go wrong with some magical jewels, y'all? We all need some magical jewels, right? But thank y'all for joining me with another One Magazine challenge. What's your take on this story here? I'd love to hear it in the comments down below. But thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all next week with another art video. Bye, guys.